up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward Crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you, chat family, for choosing to kick off the day with the WUW Crew. It's your boy, Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network, Flannel Sam, Red Wings correspondent, we'll get there, all sports knower, and it just, you know what, better the squad and better the network. What up, though, brother? How you feeling, man? Goodness gracious.
Mixed bag, obviously. Thrilled for the Tigers, not thrilled for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, definitely. It is a victory show of sorts, so that's why I wore the Detroit hat rather than the all, blacked out Red Wings hat, ceremoniously. But we'll get there. Do you want to tell the people what we have on the menu today?
Red Wings and Tigers and Rod Beard. That's pretty much what we're starting with the Red Wings, getting to the Tigers because we got to discuss their still perfect homestand, still big winning streak that was extended yesterday. And of course, when it comes to Rod Beard, we got a segment getting his thoughts on all things Detroit sports, but also Woodward Pistons because they are going to have themselves some playoff games.
Playoff games, postseason awards that they're going to be involved in. They get a little bit of a break because they made the actual top six rather than the play-in. So this is going to be a fun time for Detroit sports, especially in April, the month of April. April indeed is alive and well, but we got some battles. We didn't get quite enough out of the Detroit Red Wings, man, and they go down 4-1 to the Canadians. And absolutely huge blow to their slim playoff chances that they were clinging to, Flannel.
It was always very slim. It would have still been slim even if the Red Wings would have gotten the regulation win last night. But the fact that they didn't, the fact that they lost, you can pretty much shovel dirt on the grave of this season. And I'll say this before I really get started on everything. I've been more positive at times this year than you think I would. Because, last year I had many battles with guys like Neil and D-Mac and the chat and maybe even Chase a couple of times because I was really, really upset that they didn't make the playoffs last year. But this year, I'm like, okay, Casper, Johansson, Soderblom, Edvinsson, like what I see from all of them. But at the end of the day, with everything that's gone right with the Red Wings, you could even include Alex DeBrincat having a bounce back and having a 35-goal season. What has occurred this year for the Detroit Red Wings is just, it's not okay, it's not acceptable, and it shouldn't be treated as such. They are going to have their first regression in the Steve Yzerman regime, and it's going to be probably a lofty one because I don't know if they're going to win a game the rest of the year. I understand that things happen, like they beat Carolina and they beat Florida over the weekend. But even if they win out, which is not going to happen, they'll still have less points this season than last season. And last night, I understand that they got a lot of shots up there. But at the same time, there were multiple times where the Red Wings had great chances, empty nets, not empty nets, but open nets, and failed to convert. And I understand that they outshot the Canadians 24-5 in the first period, and it looked like they were absolutely dominating, but they were only able to get to a 1-0 lead. And as we know, the Canadians vanquished that, highlighted by the third period in which they got a couple of empty netters to make it look more lopsided than it actually was. But yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to the Red Wings, one of the things that plagued them last night was something that has plagued them the entire bleeping season, and that is 5-on-5 scoring. 1 5-on-5 goal. And we've seen that oftentimes this year, even when they've won, even when they've played well. They'll score a couple of goals, but for the most part, they've been a team that's leaned heavily on the power play. As a team, they've been power play merchants because I've got some, you know what? I will include these couple of power stats with a couple of certain players who I don't want to rag on too much, but I got to give them some criticism as well. I will start with this one. The Red Wings this season are 4th in power play percentage, but bottom 10 in goals per game. That's just tells you all you need to know, that they're not a good 5-on-5 team and that they've been merchanting a lot off of the power play. But there's a couple of players on this team that have some allegations to respond to, I think, in the next couple of years. And those are Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin. They're not the reason why the Red Wings offense has been bad. Obviously, you look at guys like Tarasenko and Comfer and Berggren and Rasmussen haven't been very productive. Even Andrew Kopp, when he played, he wasn't super productive. But there's a couple of power stats that I have available for you guys. If you want to throw that one right up there now, JB, if you've got it, with Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin. Lucas Raymond. This is where you can look at them as part of the reason why their 5-on-5 scoring has regressed. Lucas Raymond, last season, 56 5-on-5 points in 82 games. This season, 39 5-on-5 points in 77 games. Even though Lucas Raymond's production overall has taken a big leap, it's because of his power play scoring. He's 4th in the NHL tied for 3rd in the NHL in power play points, but tied for 27th in the NHL in overall points. And you look at it, it's because in the 5-on-5, Lucas Raymond has been relatively mid, at least in terms of production. Dylan Larkin the same. Last season, 19 5-on-5 goals in 68 games. This season, 16 5-on-5 goals in 77 games. Not quite the drop that Raymond's is, but Larkin, it's the same thing. He's tied for 9th in the NHL in power play goals, but tied for 40th in the NHL in goals, period. They're just not scoring in the 5-on-5. And like I said, that's every line. It's not just these guys. But when you look at some of the things that both of those players have been able to do throughout their careers, even last year when they were a better team, both Larkin and Raymond, if they kept up their 5-on-5 production from last year to this year, they would have probably made the playoffs, or at least been a better scoring team, because last season they were top 10 in the NHL in goals per game, and this season they're bottom 10. That's just... Again, these aren't the main reasons, but I look at these two guys as much as we want to praise them, as much good as they've done for this team, last night really made me reflect and realize in 5-on-5, they've been slipping, at least from what they were last year. And I certainly didn't expect this from Lucas Raymond, and I didn't expect this from Dylan Larkin as well. And if you want to include another thing with Dylan Larkin, the last 2 seasons, he was exactly a point per game when you combine both. This season, 65 points in 77 games. Not good enough, certainly not 1C type of production. And as I've said before, for the people that say that Larkin's not a 1C, this year proved that he just might not be. He just hasn't been good enough. Not terrible, not even bad by any stretch. Good, not good enough.
And that's where, my mind instantly, it goes to next year. It goes to what's next, especially if you believe that Dylan Larkin might not be the 1C for this team to usher it into that next phase or stage of winning. Where is that? I got to check the temperature, man. Where is that temperature check, that confidence level in this Red Wings team figuring it out? Because they had some good stretches this year under Ty McClellan, and it's likely that they're in a different position if he was there from the beginning of the season. But clearly that doesn't absolve Stevie Y and any of the faults of the Iger plan from criticism.
Next year, I'm not exactly sure. I would like to see. Raymond has still had a very productive season, the most points he's ever had in an entire season, but we need more from these guys 5-on-5. Do they make a move? Does Marco Kasper take a big leap? Does Alex DeBrincat continue to play like the Alex DeBrincat we knew when he was a 40-goal guy? Maybe. Patrick Kane, I don't know how much he has left in the tank. These are really your offensive engines of the team.
Does Larkin have another level?
I don't know. I would probably say no. When at some point you see it. You see somebody really reach their ceiling. I'll give you an example of somebody who really took a big leap this year. I think it's either his 6th or 7th year, correct me if I'm wrong, chat or Chase, a team that you just saw last night, a team that has actually taken that leap after not being very good the year before. Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki this season has proved that he is a bona fide 1C. That guy is special. He is going to be, I think, the 1C on this Canadiens team if and when they really do some damage. This year, we're not sure, but they're going to be in the playoffs, and the biggest reason why is Nick Suzuki. He is their best player. They've got other special young players as well, but Nick Suzuki is really the one. That, to me, is where you look at Dylan Larkin, and it's no disrespect. He's a damn good player. I want him on this team. He's under contract, but Nick Suzuki is that guy that you need to have to be your 1 type C. But before the season, I know we saw the potential, but this year, he's really taken it to another level, and I just don't think that's a level that Dylan Larkin has. And that's okay, by the way, but more needs to be around him. That's it. That's all.
Hey, what up, though? Cavassier, Chase in the building, another one of the puck knowers. And, man, you hear the conversation right now overall, and just your thoughts on the close of the season. Obviously, those slim playoff chances, and you guys have been real about this the entire time. Those slim playoff chances, that door is basically shut, and just kind of that confidence in the road ahead. And Dylan Larkin, I think that's an interesting conversation.
I mean, Sam's not wrong about like what he's saying about Dylan Larkin and Nick Suzuki. I mean, he's 3 years younger than Dylan Larkin, and I think if you watch the game of hockey, you can see he's a much better leader and much better at performing out on the ice when it matters. As a 1C. So. It's disappointing, this team. I mean, we all knew that like there's going to be an issue with defense, all season. The forwards were disappointing. There's just no identity with this team. There's no grit. They just get bullied on the ice, and it's disappointing to see. And it's there's no accountability. It seems like from some of the leaders who are the people who are supposed to be leaders on this team stepping up, and I think like Dylan Larkin. I think he is what he is at this point. Like as a, on the ice and off the ice. I think he should have been a little bit more vocal earlier in the year when Lalonde was still the coach about taking charge of this team. And even though like they obviously didn't believe in this coach, he should have been the leader. He wears the C, galvanize the team, like let them follow you until there's a new coach that's eventually on this team, like leading the way. And I don't know, I'm pretty disappointed in how this season's turned out. I mean, I don't know. It was always gonna be a tough stretch. I definitely got myself caught up in the emotion and the excitement of it. But it's like I always thought there was a slim chance. We'd sneak in the playoffs, and just the lack of fight in games against the lower opponents, like San Jose Sharks earlier in the year, like the games against Utah, just you want to see Anaheim, like these teams that you should be playing better against, and you shouldn't be giving up these late leads and forcing overtime and like giving up points. It's
funny, Chase, you mentioned grit in the forwards, and we're going to get to the defense, I promise you, because I've got the power stat of all power stats, which is going to be really, really damning about the defense, particularly a segment of the defense. I'm sure you
penalty kill.
Yes. We'll
69%.
We'll certainly talk about that, but you mentioned lack of grit, and honestly, having a penalty kill that bad is really a stat in which you can quantify grit. And another team that was worse than the Red Wings last year, but has really leapfrogged them this year, and they're actually going to make the playoffs as a top 3, is the New Jersey Devils. And the Devils, you can talk about Jack Hughes being back, but Jack Hughes is playing the exact same games this year to last year, 62. What really sets the New Jersey Devils apart is that they are 3rd in the NHL in PK. They're 82%. So that means that out of every 100 opponent power plays, they kill 13 more than the Red Wings. You think that makes a pretty big difference? Yeah, you're damn right it does. But what really is one of the underrated keys to their penalty kill and to their team as a whole, well, the team as a whole not underrated, but to their penalty kill, and a part of what makes these guys special. Obviously, we know Jack Hughes. He's going to be great for many, many years, but he's out. Jesper Bratt, though, Jesper Bratt is not only their leading scorer and one of the top assist men in the NHL. He is on their first PK line. That's a guy with grit. That's a real two-way forward. And you look at a guy like Nico Hischier as well. 35 goals this season, but also plays on their first PK line. They're older players. They've been in the system for longer than guys like Raymond and Sider and whatnot. But at the same time, when it comes to the young Red Wings forwards, these are blueprints that they should be looking at. But do guys like Raymond have it in them to be demon two-way forwards? I don't necessarily know. We'll see. And that's why I wanted to make the caveat that Hischier and Jesper Bratt have been in the Devils system for longer than guys like Lucas Raymond. But grit is quantifiable when it comes to penalty kill. And the Red Wings penalty kill has been absolutely morbid and absolutely awful. And this is where I want to transition more to the defense a little bit. Put up these numbers, JB, because the Red Wings PK has not only been bad, it's been soberingly bad. And look at this. All I really need to do is show you this and be silent. But for the audio-only people, I will read it out. The Red Wings penalty kill. 1920, this was Steve Yzerman's first year, 74%. 2020-2021, 78%. 22, 74%. 23, 78%. 24, 80% when they actually almost made the playoffs and had 91 points and had a good year. It was 80% last year. This year, 70%. How can this be?
You're being generous with the rounding, Sam. It's 69%. It is not 70. It is 69.9%. It's the fourth worst in NHL history.
Fair enough.
Don't give them the gratitude. Don't even
Don't
round
give them
up
the
last
point
year's.
one. Don't give
They
them the
didn't
point
have 80% last year. They had 79.6. Don't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Say, respect
All right,
Big Beaver Road.
No, I mean, fine, fair enough. I just did it to make it a little bit easier. But you're right. You're absolutely right. 69.9% is just
fourth worst all
atrocious.
time.
And you know what? I'm just going to say this because I've been very fair this year, I think, maybe even to a fault. If you would have told me at the end of last season that the Detroit Red Wings would have the worst PK in the Steve Yzerman era, this is the year where they were supposed to be the best, the most developed, the most, guys coming up, guys making improvements. If you would have told me that this year it would be the worst PK in the whole Steve Yzerman era, the worst in the NHL, historically bad, do you know what I would have said? Fire his ass. And I'm not saying Steve Yzerman should be fired, but this is, in and of itself, a bit of a fireable offense. And I understand that a lot of it goes to coaching and effort, but also Justin Holl being on your PK, that's on Stevie. And Justin Holl has been a big part of why this PK has been so bad. It's just, and they didn't add anything. And I'll say this. There are a lot of defensemen that I wanted the Red Wings to add this last offseason. They obviously tried to trade for Jacob Trouba. That fell through. If Jacob Trouba is on this team, this PKs does not look like that. If they would have signed Matt Roy like the Washington Capitals did, which I advocated for, the PK does not look like that. If they would have just signed somebody like Alec Martinez, who's had some injury issues this year, but he's played, I think, like 40-plus games, their PK would not look like that. If the Red Wings would have acquired an Ian Cole, who I was also advocating for, the Red Wings PK would not look like that. It's not, I get it, it's not all on Stevie Y, but his lack of action in terms of getting more help defensively for this team in the offseason is a big reason why this happens, because Justin Holl should not be playing NHL games. But because of injuries, because lack of action in the offseason, that's what you get. He's played in damn near every game, and look at this. Look at this. This is the worst PK in the Steve Yzerman era, the worst PK in the NHL, and a historically bad PK. Imagine if their PK was even normal bad. We might be looking at this as a potential playoff game. Give me 74, 75%. On some years, that's the worst PK. But if they had that, if they killed 74 out of every 100 penalties as opposed to 69, maybe we'd be looking at a different team. Not good enough.
And that's why I wonder so much. Like, I know record-wise, it doesn't quite, it's not quite the same comparable. When you're talking about the Pistons and even the Tigers to a degree, how these teams went from little hope to all of a sudden these guys are playoff teams, like legitimate playoff teams. And that's why I do wonder with Stevie Y, and just for your perspective, and Chad family, you all as well, is this a summer where Steve has to absolutely cook up? You see the years there. And I need puck knowers to let me know. Because in the NBA, we know this. If a rebuild is going beyond 4 and 5 years, it's going too long, because you're thinking about the first draft picks you're bringing in, and all of a sudden they're on their second contracts and you haven't made the playoffs. Imagine if K was getting paid all of that money on that max deal and they still weren't making the playoffs. As it relates to hockey, like, how long is too long? Because this is a long time now.
I mean,
at least in basketball terms.
Here's the thing. I understand that hockey rebuilds take a while, as we all know, as the puck knowers will always let you know. The problem is the regression. The problem is that this team has a lot of the same pieces on a team that was a top 10 scoring team last year, and now they're bottom 10, and they're terrible on 5-on-5. There's no reason that a roster with guys like Raymond and Larkin and DeBrincat actually playing well this year, and Patrick Kane having another good year, should be a bottom 10 scoring team and just a terrible 5-on-5 team. But one of the reasons why is that what the Red Wings did to add to the offense was Vladimir Tarasenko. And I understand that Tarasenko at the time seemed like a good signing, but a GM's job, and this is where I can have hindsight that is 2020, a GM's job is to have more of that foresight, to really see the vision for what Tarasenko can really bring to this team. And from the beginning, Tarasenko was a bit of a fish out of water. In his later years, he worked perfectly on that stacked Florida team, but on this Red Wings team in which more was being asked of him, he hasn't even given you near close to that, and he was never really capable of it. And it's not all Tarasenko's fault, but that's really a microcosm of Steve Yzerman's fault in all of this, is that Vladimir Tarasenko turned out to be a terrible signing. Did we foresee it? No. Steve Yzerman, that's why he's propped up. That's why it's called the Yzer plan. That's why he makes the big bucks, is because he's supposed to have the foresight that Flannel Sam doesn't.
It's, you know what, man, something tells me, though, golly, man, that this team has opportunity to do a couple things here and be able to put themselves in a position like we see the Pistons and the Tigers. But then again, this has been some time, and you do pull out you point out a good nuance when you talk about the regression of it all. You want to see this thing moving in a more of a positive direction, especially when you're talking about Dylan Larkin being the 1C in the middle of it.
Well, and also just to give one last little, I don't know if it could be a silver lining, or it could be even, or it could be the opposite. The Red Wings still have to go out there and compete and try to win some games. And the biggest reason why, to me, is you have to, what Red Wings fans and even I are clinging to is the young guys, the progression of the young guys proving that they can hack it in the NHL. But also, if the Red Wings just tank this season, if they look at the Montreal game as, oh yeah, we lost that, now we're out of it, there's really no use in giving their best, which I'm not saying they will, but if they decide to take that route, they're in danger of finishing the season with less points than they did 2 years ago. That would be another one of those danger, Will Robinson, red alert, like having a historically bad PK. If you combine having a historically bad PK with having less points than you did 2 years ago, then that in and of itself, and I'm not saying that they should, is a fireable offense when it comes to Steve Yzerman. And I'm not going to be mad at people who call for it. I still think that the way that he's drafted with ASP and Nate Danielson matriculating their way into the NHL, that you shouldn't fire Steve Yzerman at this point. But I'm not going to crap on people who have those thoughts, because it just hasn't been good enough. It hasn't. We were promised special. We were promised Steve Yzerman was the greatest hire that the Red Wings could have ever made in the history of mankind. And that's true. You all know that those were the promises. And so far, while Steve Yzerman has done a good job in terms of drafting, his offseason signings, who he's decided to keep, who he's decided to get rid of, has not worked. It just hasn't. And a couple of those guys, like even Raymond, or to some extent Mo Seider, although Mo Seider could probably benefit from being insulated, maybe are not as special as you thought that they were. They're still young. And I do think that one of the keys to the offseason is Steve Yzerman has to invest in Mo Seider, get him a real first pair, pairing, not Ben Sherratt. Or you could get somebody and then make it Edvinson and Sider. I think that's more of the reason, but I'm not sure if Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider are special. Are they damn good? Absolutely. But the key is you need special at some point.
And I'm seeing people that are agreeing with you in the chat. Brian Music, he says, longest rebuild I've ever seen, worse than Alavila's rebuild. And Weezy D313 says this, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the Red Wings clearly going to take a piss-esque leap next year when the kids get here and a couple veteran tweaks?
I mean, I don't know. A better veteran I'll tell you what, better veteran signings would have made a difference this year because you might be right. I think that the biggest issue for me is just the regression, the historically bad PK, the offense, which I thought was going to be really good, not being good 5-on-5. If you're let's just cut the shit. If you're a top 4 power play team, it's a disgrace if you're not a top 10 scoring team. They're one of the worst 5-on-5 teams in the NHL, and they've got too many good players for that to happen.
Hey, you know what? We're going to talk about another team, a couple teams today that are absolutely meeting the expectation. If not, surely passing it. Those Detroit Tigers, they bounced back from an 0-3 start against the champs, but they fought, and we've continued to see that fight. They've already taken care of the series with the Yankees, and it's crazy when you can enter that series and say, you know what, this is a handle your business series for the Detroit Tigers. I can't wait to get there, man. Talk about it. It's been a lot of good vibes with them.
Absolutely, but someone's got to tell us about Mad Packs.
Hey,
Mad Packs.
This is I think my new favorite read.
You know what? I'll do Caesars, JB, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'll do Caesars. I'll also shout out some people sending in some super chats as it is right now. Shout out to Burns sending in $5. He said it's amazing after 120 years of playing in Michigan in April, the Tigers figured out how to play in cold weather. Hate the cold weather, Cope. And Dante151 sent in $4.99. He said at least we have the Tigers and Pistons that are giving us hope. Take the wings behind the shed, Pa. Old Yeller style. If you know, then you know. Shout out to him as well,
probably kind of why we went a little bit longer in the Ronda City segment. It was thorough. It was necessary. I thought Flannel did a good job, and I really like the real passion and emotion that both he and Kavasi and Chase were showing for the Red Wings this morning. It's what makes Detroit sports. The relationship that we have with our sports teams, and it's awesome to hear when the players say things like, the Pistons, they said it. We've been letting our fans down. We hear what's going on at Comerica. We hear what's going on with the Lions, and I'm hoping that this is something that the Red Wings also go through, because us all, the most consistent things I've heard at Media Day for the Pistons was, yes, JB Bickerstaff has brought something different, but two, we hear what's going on in the city and we want to be a part of that. And so to know that, that connection is happening, I'm really hoping the Red Wings make that work, because we know how Detroit gets for Red Wings hockey. All of us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But tell us about Caesars.
All right, Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan that QR code on screen, use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and if it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Hey, if you bet on the Red Wings last night, guess what? That 20 is right back into your account to bet on the Tigers today. Scan that QR code, use code word Woodward1000, and make some money today.
injuries. Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsAndSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Yo, KG here to talk to you about Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the hottest new cannabis brand, and they are partnering with Woodward Sports. You know what that means? I'm going to be feeling good every single day off the Mad Packs. And Mad Packs is going to take your game to the next level. High-low is getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality at unbeatable prices. Boom Shakalaka. Boom Shakalaka is a live resin-infused tarantula. This one's the bomb. Blizzard Packs, THCA Moon Rocks that hit like a blizzard, coming to select retailers in May of 2025. Stay tuned to Woodward Sports for all of the latest updates.
And Planet.
Hey, it's Planet Fitness, fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgraded the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back to this Wake Up Woodward. Hey, you know what? Let's go with the Feldman background, brother. That's less Stanford. We don't. Yeah, we not them at all. Not them. What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate y'all for choosing to kick off today with the WUW Crew. We got to talk about these Tigers. 5-0 victory over those New York Yankees to take a game 2 and start for the 2-0 lead in this series. And this one was Tarek Skubal. You want to say he bounced back. You want to talk about the pitching, telling the opposing bats to go grab some bench. And the Tigers bats making sure that the Yankees outfield got some cardio yesterday. It was like, hey, you get a home run.
Running to the fence and being like, there goes the ball.
In Comerica.
Yeah.
Like, my mind kept going to this one fact of, like, you know, what are the Yankees thinking? Everyone talks about what Comerica Park is. But the Tigers bats are sitting up here muscling out the park when you came into the season not even believing that there was going to be really any power bats in this lineup, and they find a way to go out there and smack the ball all around Comerica Park to the tune of a 5-0 victory.
Oh, such a great win. Tarek Skubal bounced back. And I'll tell you what, if the Tigers, I was mentioning how yesterday that they've been better during stretches in non-Tarek Skubal starts than you think. If the Tigers can also win Skubal starts, if Skubal can get back to what he was last year, which he certainly looked like yesterday, this team, man, I might elevate their expectations to hard winning the division because he looked dominant. 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 hits, 0 walks, by the way, just painting the strike zone. Looked like his best stuff, was just absolutely dominant. And we all know that when you do it to the Yankees lineup, which isn't as good as it was last year, but still a very talented lineup that includes Aaron Judge, it just hits differently. And Tarek Skubal just made those Yankees hitters look silly. And that's what we figured would happen this season. what a lot of us, myself included to some extent, had some trepidations about, especially with the injuries, is the power supply. Spencer Torkelson, another one, looks to be officially back, doing it against the Yankees. You saw Dylan Dingler, Zach McKinstry, Kerry Carpenter against a lefty, which you love to see. I want Kerry Carpenter to improve against left-handed bats, which we all do, so that he can be that everyday player. And if he keeps hitting bombs against left-handed pitching, that just elevates his ceiling of what he could be even more. Just a great win. Great start to the season, great homestand already, great 5-game winning streak. There's really nothing bad you can say about the Tigers. And oh, by the way, shout out to Brant Herter as well. 3 scoreless, efficient, 40 pitches in 3 innings, shutout ball to end the game and to close down the club.
Yeah, and I like those games where Schoolball's pitching because you know the bullpen is going to be able to get some rest. And that's what we saw again in yesterday's game. But ultimately, the trend continues where the Detroit Tigers are continuing to get hits, 9 hits in a game, and are continuing to get that 4 to 5 runs per game. You mix that with the pitching, that's going to be absolutely deadly. Just wait until, the pitching catches up to the hitting. Yesterday was effectively when all those worlds collide, and you just see how good and how dominant. I know it's early in the season, but you can use that word. I know people didn't want to use that necessarily when we were beating up on the White Sox, but now you're sitting here talking about a series against the Yankees, and the Detroit Tigers are still handling business, and it's looking the exact same way. Strong starting pitching, and our bats are going to go out there and put some hits up on you guys. I remember even in the White Sox series, we were like, hey, I think they're going to get 7 hits. We're like, okay, we think they can do that. And all of a sudden, it just looked like, all right, they're going to literally crush that number at this rate. And it's interesting to say with this team because I had some hope that the bats were going to be serviceable, but I didn't know that they were going to be to the tune of what we're seeing right now.
And I've got, in a second, JB, another of one of my famous Twitter graphics to put up, which really highlight this season as a whole. Because when you look at why the Tigers are as good as they have been, despite Parker Meadows not playing due to injury, despite Matt Vierling not playing, despite Wenzel Perez not playing, despite Gleyber Torres getting hurt very early on in the series against the Dodgers, the reason why the Tigers are really winning as big as they are is because of the unlikely heroes and their back parade. So, JB, if you want to throw that up, I've got some very pretty numbers for you guys. Unlikely heroes, Dylan Dingler. This is for the first 11 games. 1.119 OPS. That's a Hall of Fame level OPS. And I understand, even beyond Hall of Fame OPS, anything over 1.1 is historic. And I'm not saying Dylan Dingler is going to be able to keep this up, but even through 11 games, with seeing how poorly he hit the baseball last year, you love to see it. Zach McKinstry being that utility guy, being a guy who's been thrust into more action because he can play everywhere in the field due to all of the injuries. A 963 OPS. Love to see it. Nobody predicted this from these two guys, and I know it's early, but that's a big reason why the Tigers are winning, and they both hit home runs yesterday. And also, their back parade. Spencer Torkelson, 1.051 OPS. I would give one of my toes for Spencer Torkelson to have an 800 OPS this season, because I think that would be one of the keys to the Tigers making the playoffs and possibly winning the division. But even though it's a small sample size, a 1.051 OPS, anything over 1,000 is elite of the elite. We're talking about some of the best players in the game. But even Javi Baez, I know Neil doesn't want to hear this because Javi could literally cure cancer, and Neil would be like, "What about diabetes?" He makes
literally a perfect number.
And for the record, Neil is absolutely correct in his slander of Javi throughout his time here. And I will never try to deny that. And I'm not going to look back and be like, oh, what do you got to say about Javi now? Javi was horrific the first 3 years, particularly last year. And Neil had every right to clown him. I did. We all did. But one thing that I'm not going to do is to poo-poo this like it's nothing. A 777 OPS for Javi Baez is a big deal. The fact that his batting average is 333 is a big deal. I know he hasn't hit a home run yet. He doesn't have a lot of power to show for it, but Again, if Javi Baez, I would take anything at this point over 650. I would probably give a toe for that. Javi Baez is 777 OPS right now. Could it all fall off a cliff? Could he, go for like an 0 of 11 slump where he strikes out 6 times on bad pitches? Sure, he could. But right now, he's playing really well, and he's looking pretty damn good in the field. So one of us on the show told you that this idea that he's become a terrible defender is way overblown, me, and we've seen it. And also, maybe as important as anybody on this list, Casey Mize pitching like an ace. 0.77 ERA. Dominated the White Sox, dominated the Tigers. The splitter looks like the splitter that we all hope that it would be coming out of college that we saw in brief times in 2021 where he had a good year. Casey Mize is pitching the best we've ever seen him. And with somebody as talented as he is, it wouldn't shock me at all if by the end of the year, we're talking about him as a guy whose ERA is hovering around 3. And if that's the case, if all of this continues to some extent in a parlay, the Tigers could win 95 games. I don't think that it will, but we don't need all of this from these guys. We just need good production as Parker Meadows comes back, as Matt Vierling comes back, as Wensiel Perez, who unfortunately was just transferred to the 60-day IL, comes back, as Gleyber Torres comes back, as Riley Green recovers from this recent 0 of 8 slump, even though he's been good the whole year. We know that that's not going to continue. Love to see it. Unsung heroes, people that are back. It's a nice redemption arc for a lot of these guys.
I mean, and you have to have it, though. Even though you might not have these stretches, these things go for the entirety of the season for these players. I think having this in stretches of the season, understanding the roles that these players are going to play, and that you just need them to realistically make an impact during large stretches of the season. It allows them, while they're trying to get healthy and get guys back and some other people get into a rhythm, to really do a little bit more than tread waters, what we see right now. Imagine when they do get healthy. Imagine when Riley Green does get hot. You see what I'm saying? And then a lot of these guys, even though they're unlikely heroes right now, who knows what their impact is in terms of like overall, in terms of how it's impacting right now. While maybe Riley Green is struggling, while maybe Spencer Torkelson went like 1 for 12 for a small stretch before he got going again against the Yankees. And that's where I'm like, you know what, this team in terms of the next steps, in terms of overcoming the adversity, showing the resiliency, bouncing back from losses, can you overcome injuries? These are things that we saw even with the Detroit Lions as it relates to taking the next step, and with the Pistons taking that next step. Can you overcome these things? And are you going to get that support from other people on your team to be able to help in that cause? And that's what we see out of this Detroit Tigers squad right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And as I alluded to before, the fact that the Tigers were able to do this to the Yankees, despite Riley Green being a combined 0 for 8, is incredible. Because we know Riley Green, when he's not going through a bit of a slump, is still the most accomplished hitter on this team. He was the only position player all-star last year, and this is not going to continue. I would actually predict a couple of hits from him today, but maybe more on that later. But these unsung heroes stepping up and getting them some offense and some production when Riley Green is not hitting is wonderful. And WeezyD313 comes at me with a funny question. Flannel, right now, for the rest of the season, Jazz Chisholm or Javi? Jazz Chisholm. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a blind hater. And Jazz Chisholm, to his credit, was actually pretty good last year. But there is not a universe, nor tangent universe, untangent universe, bizarro world, hell, heaven, in which Jazz Chisholm should have ever been on a cover of MLB The Show. That's always my hatred for him, but I would rather have him than Javi Baez. I will not let it go. Enjoy, you're also 0 for 4, and your batting average under 200 this year, by the way. But I was told Torpedo Bat Jazz.
Shout out to the Torpedo Bats, man. Hey, you know who don't need Torpedo Bats? The Tigers don't, man.
Tigers don't give a... Maybe the Brewers pitching staff is just bad. I don't know.
it just you know what? We'll talk about it when we get the legend on in the next segment. We'll go heavy Tigers before we ramp up with a little bit of Pistons and look at their playoff outlook, because this will be our last Woodward Pistons show before the playoff starts. This will be the last one of the regular season. It'll be the last regular season show as well with Rod Beard. So, hey, I can't wait to get into the next segment. What friends we got to say what up, though, to?
I got to tell them about merch. Some merch that we got going on right now. Do yourself a favor, head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. Yes, I know they didn't get it done last night and probably are eliminated from the playoff as well, too. But you can still support the Red Wings if you love them. We got the LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies available for you. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers either. You know what? I'm calling it a sweep today. A sweeping the Yankees. Do yourself a favor and get some Woodward Sports Tigers gear as well, too. You know, support hobby if you want to. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's just me. Head over to woodwardsports.com and click on that shop tab. Get swagged out for Comerica Park.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Yeah, I think Neil is starting to realize it though a little bit. Like,
how do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
All right, sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or simply chilling at home, Jars Cannabis has you covered. 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one very close nearby you. But don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are popping up your way very, very soon. If you don't have time to stop in store to check out everything they have, look them up online at jarscannabis.com, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Hey, gotta tell you guys about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men because they take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylists will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, my favorite, that hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. They're open 7 days a week, so walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome. Hey, and we are back. What up, though? People, just wake up, Woodward, and you know, we got the legend, Detroit News Rod Beard. We get to call him that just a little while longer. Absolute legend of a professional and a person. And I'm getting a little bit overzealous, maybe. I know he has this thing where we lock in 40 games, but I got to ask Rod just his purview on these Tigers early on in the season.
Yes.
What up, though, brother?
How you doing?
Hey, what up, though, man? Again, congratulations again to you, Rod. Just happy for you and all of the, you know, what's going on in the personal career and all that.
Yeah, congratulations, Rod.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. It is, I said it was bittersweet in the tweet, and it is bittersweet. That's exactly what it is. It's, it's a big opportunity in Atlanta, but looking at the standings, they need some help. They cannot beat Orlando for anything in the world. So I got to take some of my good mojo down there and help those Hawks.
So start writing in the South. I like that, man.
Start writing in this. Well, we got to figure out the Southern version of that. I don't know what that is yet.
Ooh, hey, we're gonna be definitely tapped in, Rod, and we got a few more, events here in this April in the D, where some of these teams are turning up, and the Detroit Tigers right now are. And I know, I get it. In basketball, it's about that 20, 30 game mark. In baseball, you said it's a 40 game mark. But Rod, I'm drinking all of the orange Kool-Aid. You got to tell me, anything change with those expectations for you with the Tigers, with the start that you see them having, especially bouncing back from the 0-3 sweeping at the hands of the Dodgers?
Hey, 158-2. Print up the sweatshirts. Let's go. I know KG will be on board. Final Sam's on board. 158-2. Print the sweatshirt. Send me a hoodie, extra large.
Let's rock, man.
No, I think they've done a good job with reincarnating Torque, and the pitching staff hasn't been fantastic. They've been really good, but this is what they needed to have at the beginning of last year, and this is the start that you want. Is getting off to a good lead, second best record in the American League. Let's just keep the momentum going and see where we are at that 40 game mark. But this is the positive start that you want to see, that they're not having to play catch up so early.
Speaking of Torque, I'm going to parlay this into a Torque and Casey Mize. From what you've seen so far this season, albeit in a short sample size, Torque 11 games, Casey Mize 2 starts. Do you think that they're both back? And are you seeing the type of, with how they're playing, with how Torque's swinging the bat with Casey Mize's stuff, the type of, is this sustainable? I'll just say that. Are they actually going to be back? At the end of the year, are you going to be looking at this and being like, this was a great season for both of those two?
Yeah, I think so. And this is what we expected from Torque in the very beginning, and all of the talk and the writing that we saw about his power and his ability to hit to all fields and to do so much. And he's played a pretty good first base also. And for Casey Mize, it is, be a part of this pitching staff. When all of these guys kind of mature at the same time, we thought we would see Skubal, Manning, Mize, all of them up at the same time. This is the time that we thought of 3 or 4 years ago that this nucleus would be. And Riley Green, all of these guys are guys that we thought we would see and being able to produce at this level at the same time. At the end of the year, why not? Let's dive in head first and say this is what this is going to be.
Oh. Yeah, and Rob, when you're looking at the Tigers right now and just all of the different contributions that they are getting, how much of what you've seen out of A.J. Hinch is this guy's just the best manager in all of baseball?
Yeah, he will make you change your situation that you think, hey, we're going into this inning and this is what's going to end up happening. He pinch hits, you got to bring in another pitcher, and 2 batters down the road from that original pinch hitter is who he's really trying to get to. It is, I don't even want to say chess, not checkers. It's something more complicated than that. It's like the 3D Star Wars where the monsters are fighting on the chessboard. That's what he's doing to try to trip up other managers. And he has the bench to do it and the hitters to do it. And more or less the bullpen to do it on the other end when he's bringing in a lefty and creating the matchup mismatches there too.
Good morning, Rod, and once again, congratulations on your new opportunity, man. Very, very happy for you. And just wanted to ask you about Michigan, just to transition it a little bit. Dusty May, he went out and got Yaxel, and I wanted to ask you how you felt about that move. Double-double guy, seems like he's going to do some good things for Michigan going forward.
Right. Just you have any problems, go in the portal. If you're having relationship problems, dudes, go in the portal. Women, same thing.
Yeah.
If your man not treating you right, go to the portal and get somebody. That's the mentality that they have. And this is college basketball. And it's really sad to see because you can't be a fan of your school and say, hey, this freshman that we had is going to stay here, because you, as a coach, you've got to go and recruit your same roster all over again. And if you're not, like Jace Richardson going to the NBA draft, if you're not somebody like that, then Tom Izzo still has to make sure, okay, you good, bro? Your bread is good? We got enough for you to stay here? We don't want Florida or Houston or somebody else to come and poach you. But for Michigan, that's what they need. With Dusty May as a new coach coming in, you haven't been able to establish in recruiting that foothold just yet. So in the meantime, you just get short-time guys to come in and be able to fill those gaps that you need.
I want to transition unfortunately, to the Detroit Red Wings, who lost last night, and that pretty much was the end of their playoff hopes, and they were very, very slim even if they would have won that game. Is this season a failure?
Failure. Yeah. I'm going to say yeah, because it was playoffs. It was coming in. They were so close last year, losing at the tiebreaker at the very end. This year's goal was playoffs. And part of the failure was not making that coaching decision earlier when you saw the wheels kind of falling off, that you needed to do something there, that it was just stale. And we always talk about that when teams are in these losing streaks. Do you make a coaching change right now? Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to. It's no other way around it. And yeah, they played better toward the second half, but then you had that lull again. It starts to bring questions about Yzerman and what he can do for you. You brought in the right coach. Is this going to be the right setup for next season and beyond to lead the Red Wings to success? Those are the questions that you're looking at now, because, yeah, you haven't been to the playoffs in forever. Red Wings fans were always spoiled by that.
Yep, and just to transition back to the Tigers briefly, Tarek Skubal really, for the first time this season, looked like vintage Cy Young Tarek Skubal yesterday. We knew that it was still there, and we knew that his second start, there were a lot of caveats with why the team lost. But how nice was it to see Tarek Skubal just look like that dominant Cy Young best pitcher in baseball again against the Yankees lineup?
Copy-pasted for the rest of the year. I mean, that's who you should be seeing in Tarek Skubal, is coming out, dominating from the very beginning, and dominating a Yankees lineup. Is it going to be the Dodgers lineup? Well, I don't know anybody who's going to be able to come out and do that the way that he did yesterday. But it's very encouraging to see that he gets the run support and that he's dominating the way that he is.
All right. And you know what? I want to be able to get into the next segment as well, so we can get into the Pistons stuff right now. Rod, I can't wait, because there's a lot of stats that suggest that this Detroit Pistons team might be even better than their current playoff seeding. But we're going to get there, man. This is the last of the regular season Woodward Pistons.
You are who your record says you are. You are what your record says.
Hey, let's get there. JBSmooovv, I'm going to tell the people about both Dr. Pierce and Buddies.
All right, that works.
Hey, let's rock. Attention, hey, back to back, right? Go to the doctors and then go celebrate with pizza. Attention, sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. You want to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. And Dr. Pierce was dropping some heat yesterday on Big D Energy about several of the different players, including one Aiden Hutchinson. So, Dr. Jeff Pierce here to keep you in the game, performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And Buddy's Pizza has been serving the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946. 79 years later, they have 22 locations in the state of Michigan, and fans can still visit where it all began on the corner of 6th Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards, earn points on every purchase, and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app and start earning today. Add some Detroit style to your next meal. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That is the number 10, so that's 10MEAL. Buddy'sPizza.com.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And we are back. What up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward, and it is time for that Woodward Pistons segment. We got to talk about the playoff Pistons. We got to talk about right now the 6th seed Pistons. So if the playoffs started today, which they will pretty soon here, they would be matched up with the New York Knicks. And there's some fans out there who believe that that's the most favorable matchup, and we got to talk about it with the legend Detroit News, Rod Beard. Let's get him drum rolled in here before we start. Hey, yo, shout out and welcome to the legend Detroit News, Rod Beard. What up, though, brother? You know what? The Pistons, some people are a little bit alarmed about their recent trend, and we're going to talk about that in our Swish or Break segment. But realistically, the larger sample size, they've been a top 5 team net rating wise, number 5 in offense, number 3 in defense for December 1st and January 1st, and see that they've been one of your top 5 defensive rating teams in the league. So I do believe those Detroit Pistons, they actually have the recipe to go into these playoffs and handle themselves quite well. But just, Rod, take it away, man, overall with your thoughts.
It is the last week of the season, and we are not doing tankathon spins. That's what that's my vibe right now.
Right.
It's positive.
I looked at it like, wait a minute, I don't even need to do this anymore. I can block this from my previous sites visited. Like,
we're usually doing draft profiles.
I'm saying, okay, so what do they have to do to secure a top 3 pick in the 14%? Whatever. We're not doing any of that. We're looking at the Knicks, the Pacers, the Bucks, and what could happen. When do the playoffs start, and when would that first home game be? It's weird because it hasn't been that for so long, but it is refreshing to see that the Pistons have really turned this thing around.
It definitely is. It's refreshing, and it's how they've done it as well. You know, you get the structure in place from the front office to the coaching, and then the players. You hear the young players saying, well, with this coaching staff, there are things that are making more sense to us, and things are easier to understand for their development. And you see it all work out perfectly, especially with the types of vets they brought in, adding another vet in Dennis Schroeder. And it's put this Detroit Pistons in a team in a really good position. They zoom past a lot of other teams that are still trying to figure things out or going through dysfunction of their own, whether it's injuries, whether it's their star players winding up in trade talks at every single trade deadline. But with this Pistons team, it's one where all the mojo is just right. Even in Malik Beasley, and I love every time KG bring this up, Malik Beasley effectively begging to stay in Detroit at the trade deadline. All the mojo is right. Trajan Langdon just walking up to the table like, yeah, he wants to be here, so let him be here. And this team, yes, I love the authenticity and honesty. He said, yes, this team is definitely exceeding what we thought possible at this point in time, and it has changed up what we're going to do here going forward. And then all of a sudden they go out there and they get Dennis Schroeder for effectively free. All things seem to be coming up 7-7-7 for the Pistons right now. And I do believe as they're entering into the playoffs, I do expect the Detroit Pistons to continue this trend of being a top 5 net rating team and making it tough on whoever they face, New York Knicks, in these postseason.
Yeah, it is really about the chemistry and them liking each other and being what we said at the very beginning of the year. Chemistry is going to be the indicator of whether this team succeeds. They like being around each other. They like being in Detroit. It is Stu holding out his jersey and making that Detroit on the front mean something to the rest of the league and to them. That's what the success this season is about. You wouldn't have seen that last season. You wouldn't have seen that before because they didn't have the swag to go with it. Now they do, with winning even some games and getting some respect around the league in terms of they're going to fight you. Not literally fight you, but they're going to fight you on the court in terms of for space, for respect, for everything else. And their coach has that sort of thing in him too, that he's going to get texts. He's going to argue with refs. He's going to protest when things don't go the way that and he's going to slam tables when he feels like they're being disrespected. That's the type of fight that you need, and that embodies the Detroit spirit that we wanted to see for so long.
Ron Holland looked up and said, somebody said fight?
They might fight you, Rod. I don't know.
Shout out to the young boy.
Ron
He's
Holland,
ready.
right? 'Cause he was ready for Nas Reed. He was ready to go.
Boy is ready. What up, though, Flannel?
Hey, so are you even a little bit concerned with how the Pistons looked against the Grizzlies and in the last game as well against the Sacramento Kings in terms of how they're going to look in the playoffs, or is it just a big nothing burger?
I think that's a nothing burger. I think getting Cade back integrated into the roster and getting him used to it. And people were asking me, well, hey, is Cade really hurt or are they resting him? I think they're resting him. They know they're in the playoffs. They need full 100% Cade. And these games, for the most part, don't matter. If you want to jockey and try to figure out who you're going to play, it doesn't matter. And maybe they do like the Knicks. I don't know. But I think it is get Cade right before the start of the playoffs, get everybody healthy and lined up, and then you'll see what all this is like. But the defense is still there in creating turnovers, creating havoc. It's just getting the rhythm down to the way that you want it.
And just to piggyback on that, Rod, Pistons PR has been really good throughout at least my time there, and I know you could probably speak to this as well. If there is something serious going on, they'll come through even if we're out there at practice and give us like a sheet of paper like, yo, this is what's going on. Last year, I remember they did that for a couple different players. This year, when we didn't get that, and you text them and we're not getting that, it's the most serious thing. Is where you're like, okay, just settle in and just let these guys do what they do. Because one thing we do know is this: he missed a whole season after getting, due to the leg injury or effectively the corrective surgery with the fractures in his shin. And so you want to make sure that this guy entering a playoffs in which they have different expectations probably than all of us. You want to make sure that these players are rested. You want to make sure these players are healthy. You want to make sure they can nurse any of these nagging injuries that just crop up throughout the season. And that's where you want Cade Cunningham on 10. And you'll see why. We got some Swisher Brick questions that pertain to that as well. But what up, though, KG, man? Anything for Rod Beard before we get into Swish or Brick?
Oh, we can just go ahead and get right into Swisher Brick, man.
Hey, it's not a swish. It's not a Swisher break. It's not a Swisher break until JBSmooovv cooks up
the best graphic
there
in
we
the
go.
MFN world, right there. Absolutely.
Let's get some music to DJ Willie B.
Yes, sir. Play me some pimpin', man. And listen, Kool-Aid absolutely cooked on this. I'm only gonna add one to what he provided, but I want to be able to get through all these. So, without further ado, Pistons. Into the season is highly concerning considering the losses and player injuries. Swish or Brick?
I'm seeing, and I pulled this one from what I'm seeing across social media, what I'm seeing as relates to replies and comments to our content as well. And there are people out there who believe that this Pistons team is sputtering at the wrong time and that you want this team to be in a place of momentum heading into the playoffs. So I got to ask you, Flannel Sam, first, Swish or Brick?
I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. because I'm not going to say that it's a big concern, but the people who are just like, it's actually a good thing that they're getting clapped by the Grizzlies and the Kings are a little bit crazy too. What I don't like is Malik Beasley has cooled down from behind the arc, and their defense, especially letting guys like Desmond Bane and Levine and DeRozan go off. I don't love that, especially since the Pistons will be facing some stars in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, it's not sky is falling, but it's not nothing, in my opinion.
What up, though, JBSmooovv?
I got to go brick on this one. I just think right now, these last couple games, obviously we didn't think that we're going to win every single one of them, but they're still just trying to figure things out against other competition that they could face some point in line down in this playoff series. So, and as you said, K's still kind of integrating himself back in there after, being on the bench for a while as well too. So this is just a nothing burger for me. They'll be fine. This is a brick.
Hey, what up, though, Willie B?
I'm calling enough a burger. A break because the Pistons, it's just waiting for the playoffs, and they rested right now. So in that case, I don't think you'll be concerned about the injuries. They'd be real rested for playoffs this coming on in April. So I ain't worried about that.
Yeah. Hey, what about you, KG? Before we hear from the chat and then get the Legends take.
Yeah, I'm not concerned at all, and I get it. You don't want to go into the playoffs on a losing streak. Nobody wants to really do that. But overall, a lot of the losses that they've had so far is because they haven't had their full complement of players, and the playoffs are more important for this team right now. They have a legitimate shot to beat someone in the first round, so you got to be able to take this seriously, and they'll be fine. JB Bickerstaff will have these boys ready to go, so I'm not worried at all. This is a brick.
I'm looking at some of these, man. A lot of people are saying brick. Gator86 says brick. Terrell Lamar says brick. Jeremy Thornton just says C. All right, thank you. Let me see here. AC said, Flannel said it's a wedgie.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's a good analogy.
But a lot of people here are saying that it's a brick. Rod, Beard, you kind of already gave your answers up, but what say ye?
No, it really is about the playoffs and being ready for the playoffs. It's the end of this regular season. Whatever happens against the Bucks and the Knicks, I mean, they're not showing anything in this game against the Knicks because the numbers kind of say that's who they're going to play. So even if they lose these last three, so what? If you know what you want to do when you get in the playoffs, that's all that matters.
That is actually a really good point, especially that Knicks game. You're not going in there to play that one as if it's one of the 4, potentially 7 that you would have against them in the playoffs.
I've
So
been seeing some Lindy Waters minutes that day. Lindy Waters minutes.
Lots of Lindy Waters minutes.
Hey,
and
you know
Henry
what?
Ellison minutes too. Get some Henry Ellison minutes.
Henry Ellison.
Let's go. What we got next, KG?
Nah, big facts. Cade Cunningham is a top 7 player in the NBA this season. Swish or brick?
Jeez.
Top 7 player in the NBA this season. You see the effect he's had on the Pistons. They are top 6. They had a chance at a top 4 seed this year, and the jump has just been immaculate, especially when you consider the fact that he hasn't had some of the high talent help and teammate as it relates to teammates that some of the other MVP candidates has had. Now, Cade, since about mid-season, has found himself in that making uncomfortable basketball conversations, top 10 in MVP, top 7. And then Mark J. Spears, he says it's time to consider Cade for top 5. So top 7 player, Cade Cunningham. Flannel Sam, what say ye?
Just doing a little research on the fly, just to make sure that I'm not saying anything out of pocket, making sure I'm informed. This season, I still have him right now. I have him 4th on my MVP ballot. Down, Ant Edwards passed him to me on my MVP ballot, but in terms of the best players, I would have him 6th. I would have Shea, Giannis, Jokic, Edwards, and Tatum ahead of him. And honestly, with Cade Cunningham being the leader of a team that has had such a resurgence, being 8th in the NBA in points per game and 4th in the NBA in assists per game, I mean, what really more do you have to say? He's going to be 2nd team All-NBA, so that means by virtue of that, he's at worst top 10. But I got him at 6, considering what the effect that he's had on his team this year. But so yes, swish.
Hey, let's rock. JBSmooovv, what up, though?
I'm right along with Flannel. I might not have him 6th, but I do have him 7th, though. I think That 6 spot could probably be interchangeable with Brunson or KD. It all depends, but he's still in that top 7. So I'm still giving this a swish.
Will he be?
Automatic landslide swish. I'm gonna be straight up. Cade proved everything that he's supposed to do when it comes to points, rebounds, assists. He did what Grant Hill did doing back in '99. So in that case, that's an automatic switch. He deserved to be top 7 or top 6 or even top 5. So in that case, let's be real specific. He earned that position straight up.
KG.
Hey man, this is automatic swish, and arguably he's top 5. I mean, when you just look at what Cade has done this year, he's raised, his game in a lot of statistical categories, and he was already pretty damn good last year, although they only won 14 games. And I mean, come on, bro, you don't triple your win total without Cade steering this ship. I feel like that's not a big enough story in the NBA. Yeah, it's cute to say, oh, they tripled their win total, good for the Pistons, but that doesn't happen. It's never happened. Like, that is an important milestone, and Cade is behind that. So you can argue he's top 5 easily, but absolutely, this is a swish.
Hey, and you know what? The chat is mixed on it, man. They're really mixed on it. Mark Royal swish, Denver Blair swish, Super Bowl Cartier, brick, Genovirus swish, Mint Mate, brick, but top 12 definitely. Let me see it. Genovirus says brick though because he's top 5, not top 7. You got me there. Got me there. But it's I'm seeing a lot more swishes now. Weezy 2 and 3 though, nah, top 10 I guess though. Rob Beard, let's say
Weezy, I know that you call yourself a Cade fan, but
I might have lobbed that one up.
But you've said a little bit too many out-of-pocket things lately, and you slurp Ivy just a little bit too much, and then you parlay it with this. I'm just saying it's a little sus. And oh, by the way, Marked Royal and Skydug, to the shock of absolutely no one, say brick. They're probably still in the chat being like, trade him, trade him, trade him.
What say you, Rob Beard?
Your turn.
Follow that, Rob.
I'm saying, what did y'all do to Sam?
He been like that.
It's just a weekday with Sam. That's just Sam on a normal day.
That's White Cross Sam.
That's why Clef Sam.
Samuel, and Samuel. Because
Me, myself, Irene.
Man. This looked like a brick to me, and I'm trying to think of, and I can't think of that 7th person that's better than Cade. I gotta say swish.
Hey,
I guess I can't.
I love it, Rod.
That other one.
Let's go.
That's actually a very good question because it made me think and write some stuff down. That's a good one.
Hey, I told you Kool-Aid was cooking, dog. He is cooking with this one.
Appreciate you,
He's
bro.
on one.
Team effort, man.
No, absolutely. But I got to give you your props, bro. But with the next one, Cade Cunningham will have to, in all caps, have to take his game to another level in the playoffs in order for the Pistons to win the series. Swish or brick.
We see it all the time in the playoffs. Your best players, they take their game to the next level. And sometimes you even get some of those other players, those secondary players, that take their game to the next level. But we know this. Cade Cunningham, and we've been saying this for a long time on this platform, is the straw that stirs the drink. And there is another level to his game. We've seen him get there a couple times, and actually more than a couple times this season. But this is what you need. You need your dogs to be dogs in the playoffs. Final Sam would say.
Swish. If I'm going to give a comparable, and I'm not saying that Cade has to get to this level, but in order to win the first round series or for the Pistons to win, he might have to do something similar to what Luka Doncic did in his first playoff series in Dallas, in which he went from being, man, this guy is incredible, to he's actually putting up some of the best having one of the best debut series we've ever seen. I'm not calling for Cade Cunningham to be first playoff series Luka Doncic, but he's absolutely going to have to take a leap. I mean, these are some good teams. I know that sometimes we dismiss them because we're Pistons fans and we're excited about the playoffs and we see a pathway to the Pistons winning, but I do think Cade is going to have to step up his game to another level. Particularly, I would say, I would like his field goal and 3-point percentage to go up just a little bit for them to win a
Especially that
series.
free throw.
To win a series.
Gosh, you're right on that one. Goodness, that's a good answer. JBSmooovv, what up, though, brother?
I got to go with Swish on this one as well, too. As you all have stated, like, playoffs is a different animal. And I think at this point, Cade, I need you to be selfish out there on the floor at sometimes. Like, I just need you to sit here and to just handle business. Be in control of every single minute out there. Sometimes you got to just pass up on that assist and then just take it to the rack. But honestly, dude, this is your playoff series to lose. Playoffs, different animal. Just for my own personal reason, Cade, be selfish out there.
You know what? And earlier in the season, I was like, I want to see that K more. Like, I don't think it'll hurt his assists. And we saw his numbers take a little jump as his turnovers went down. But I do believe that right there, as you get into the playoffs, starting to definitely look to the rim because he creates mismatches himself. Getting to the rack, hitting that midi, man. It's good points, JB. What up, though, Willie B?
I'll let you know.
Okay, he has to take. Yeah. He has to take his game to the next level for the Pistons to win the playoff series.
He has to. Let's be honest. Cade Cunningham, playoff K had to come out. So in that case, he got to shoot more. He got to be more aggressive more. And to the New York Knicks, he got to take it to them. And I think that's a automatic switch for that. If Cade want to go out there and play, he got to go take it to another level because all killers have to go out to eat. And in playoffs, it's a different beast. And when it's a different beast, it takes another level. You got to be a different cloth to be to go out there to go the great one. So K had to take the next level.
Hey, that's right. KG.
Yeah, man, you almost feel bad saying Swish because Cade has been great all year.
Already been great.
He is already really damn good, and he will be good enough in the playoffs for this Pistons team to be able to win the series. But I gotta say Swish on this, bro. Like, it's just, if we're talking about Cade Cunningham as possibly being one of the future faces of this NBA, then you have to go out there. You make your money in the playoffs. Your legend is told through the playoffs. And there are little small areas that you can critique with Cade Cunningham. Like you brought up the free throws. For me, it's the turnovers, and it's not like turnovers have been a big deal for him. I think it got overblown a little bit this year, but the on-ball turnovers in the playoffs, you absolutely, you got to limit those. Yeah. But overall, I mean, Cade, I feel like can elevate to that next level, and I do expect him to raise his game to a different level. He understands what this means. So.
And KG, I'm so glad you brought up what you did at the beginning, because this series is not an indictment of Cade. It's not like, oh, if he has a little bit of a disappointing segment, that kills his legacy or anything like that. It's just that I think in order for them to win, Cade Cunningham's going to have to elevate a little bit. But if Cade Cunningham does anything outside of averaging 14, 5, and 5 on 30% shooting, there will be no Cade slander no matter what. No. Right?
Impossible.
You know what I mean, though. Even if he just puts up what he's done in this regular season. If it's
a 25 and 7,
right?
Which would be less than his numbers now, it would still be a success, especially given his first playoff series. One of the things that we can't underestimate is having the experience once you've gone through it. Yeah. I know that Cade has continued to be a player consistently saying, you know what, now that I've gone through my first season, now I know what to work on. Now that I've gone through this rehab and all this, and I got a full off season ahead of me, now I understand these things. Now, they're going to get this playoff experience with an opportunity, though, as a little bit better team to try and get some dubs. But it's not an indictment on Cade if they don't. No. But for them to win, and what I sense before we kick it over to Rod, and I see it's going back and forth in the chat too, what I sense is that we all believe that there is another level that Cade can even get to in this. And that's what I think underpins a lot of the answers. If we didn't think he could get there, a lot of it is probably like, well, no, other guys need to step up.
Right.
I think that there is another level for Cade, and we see it. There's certain games where he's absolutely stanky, and where have we seen that happening? Madison Square Garden has seen it. What say you, Rod Beard?
All right. Cade, I'm going to say this is a switch. I'll start there. But it's Cade has to be Cade. It is not necessarily, and I did some quick math on this. In the 3 games against the Knicks, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 8.3 assists. He doesn't have to necessarily be that, and he's 11 of 20 from 3. Yeah, I mean that's 55%.
Flannel was smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
But the key stat, he averages 2 turnovers in those 3 games. He has 6 total turnovers against the Knicks. So Michael Bridges, Josh Hart, whoever they're throwing at him, he can't be live ball turnover Cade. It's going the other way, and you get Madison Square Garden hype because of turnovers and open plays like that. He's got to be in control and getting other people involved. That is finding Malik Beasley. That's getting Tim Hardaway involved. When everybody is in a group sort of thing, that's when the Pistons are going to be their best, and Cade is leading that group. So you need a Jalen Duren who's leading the league in lobs, in the alley-oops with Cade. You need that type of Cade to make this a potential series win.
I think Rod is kind of ushering us into that second question, to the next question.
No, absolutely he is.
He probably didn't even know.
I've been the face of this, but
oh boy, it just flows.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jalen Duren is the Detroit Pistons' second most important player for the playoffs.
Hell no. Come on, answer that, Mr. Beer. Answer that, Rob.
Right, I did write this one. I promise you, I ain't write this one. This is all Kool-Aid.
No, we are not.
I promise you,
KG. This one is.
We are not doing this.
Don't worry, Rod. The next question is for Flannel, and that's should Beasley be starting?
That was my
holy shit, Brian. It wasn't me. I promise you, it wasn't me this time. I put that on everything I love.
Look at
I put that on everything I love. It wasn't me.
We can't do this.
I mean, right? Is it really that blasphemous though? Is it really? Think about it. We're gonna give him time to deliberate.
We've seen what Jalen Duren has meant to this team as the second half of the season has grown on. The connection with Cade Cunningham is elite, leading the league in dunks, turning it up in the middle of the paint. He's unmoved. Flannel said, what say you, brother?
All right, so I don't have a particular player. I've got an idea that I believe is the second, and it could be Duren, and Duren's certainly going to have a part in this. Everybody here, and we've seen it even in the playoffs, I'll give credit, thinks that Karl Anthony Towns is basically a soft bum and that he's going to shrivel under the weight of the Detroit Pistons. Whoever can make that happen for the Pistons, whether it's schematically, whether it's players, whether it's just however that may be, that is the second most important aspect of the Detroit Pistons. Because if Karl Anthony Towns turns into the Karl Anthony Towns that a lot of you think that he always is, the Pistons are winning this series. If Karl Anthony Towns gets cold from behind the arc, the Pistons are winning this series. If Karl Anthony Towns plays soft defense, the Pistons are winning this series. So neutralizing Karl Anthony Towns to me is the key to everything.
Crap, that does actually put a whole bigger onus on Jalen Duren.
Sure, and I know Jalen
just smiling, dog.
Man.
JB
Somebody did my work for me.
JBSmooovv, what up, dog?
Man, there's so much of brick. The rim just
I
went
love the
home.
Rod Father pose right now, too. Bro.
Right. The rim just went home on this one. I feel like, Rod, how many times we going to keep doing this? No, Jalen Duren is not. I'm sorry. This absolute brick. Just terrible.
Willie B, what up, though?
Well, Switch, y'all crazy trying to dog Jalen Duren out, man. I mean, come on, man. Average a double-double. He got the choice of, doing what you want to do. Yes, he's not polished offensively, but you could work around him. And he's a good interior. Him and B. Stu, the best defensive front court in the Eastern Conference. So in that case, if they put it together,
Cavs boys will have something to say about
straight
that.
up. Yeah, I say what I said. I stand on that shit. I say what I said. I stand on it. So I'm gonna be straight up.
I got
If they click in the playoffs, they gonna beat the New York Knicks. Who gotta stop? Okay, Karl Anthony Towns, soft. But somebody just started. Somebody need to stop that little Jalen Brunson kid. So would this be a good matchup for Asur Thompson, Malik Beasley, or Tim Hardaway? If they could rotate to stop him, even though he's 5'11", they say he's 6 feet, but he's actually 5'11", the dominant. But with a good mid-range game, stop that mid-range game. You got the game. So you got the series. If the Pistons got a defensive matchup problem for him. So it's a problem for the Knicks against the Pistons.
KG, I kind of already know what your answer will be. What say ye?
Hey, man. Listen, Ryan, I'm just going to ask you at this time to diversify your portfolio.
Diversify your bonds.
Diversify your bonds right now. Just hear me out. To me,
I got you.
to me, where it really turned for this Pistons team to where they just became a juggernaut, or not a juggernaut, but became a really like effective team in the Eastern Conference, is when Jalen Duren is when his style of play got a little more aggressive. Is when he kind of took that mantle and said, okay, I'm playing on some soft-ish. He went out there, he started providing defense that we had not seen from him. He went out there and started being more of a contributor offensively. He started putting the ball on the floor, showing some of his skills. Like, I feel like Jalen Duren does need to be the best version of himself in order for the Pistons to win in the playoffs. And if he is, he will be the second most important player on this team. And it's going to be from the type of defense he provides in the low post. We just talked about trying to stop Karl Anthony Towns. That's not going to be an easy feat when he comes inside. We know he likes to play on the perimeter, but it's going to be incumbent upon Duren to go out there and play a vital role defensively on Karl Anthony Towns. And I just feel like if he can give you something offensively and just continue, like Kool-Aid said, to be that live threat, be aggressive down there, provide defense, pick up a foul or two if you have to, but just be what does Dan Campbell say all the time? Control fury, contain octane, whatever he says. It needs to be that for Jalen Duren in this playoff series. And if he can go out there and do that, I have no doubts that the Pistons can go out there and win a series. Swish.
Hey, and you know what? I'm seeing people in the chat. Shout out to Korea Pistons fan at Korea Pistons fan on socials. He is one of the international. The Pistons honored him as part of recognizing basketball worldwide. He says he thinks it's actually Tobias Harris this season. I'm sure that JBSmooovv and Kavase Chase like to hear that. Weezy 313 says Cat is going to destroy Duren. Goodness gracious, man. There's a lot of different people.
I even disagree with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, KG was big on you to act like it's actually going to be difficult to defend Karl Anthony Towns. I was told that Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren are just going to growl at him and look mean, and Karl Anthony Towns is going to cry.
Is he known to be soft in the playoffs? Yes.
He's had some poor performances in his career in the playoffs.
I rest my case.
Okay, fine.
I rest my case. But he's not going to destroy Duren. I think that's a little bit strong. But
he's going to average 5 and 5 on 20% shooting because he's bitch boy Towns, right?
But
that's all I ever hear.
Realistically, we all know Karl Towns can absolutely go out there and be an offensive threat. And if you can at least take away the paint from him, then I feel like you can get cooking, because they can throw a lot of different things at him on the perimeter and try to limit him that way. But it's going to be like Duren has to play well, like flat out.
Hey, you hear KG? This was the one question out of all of them that you've heard KG talking even more and more and more to state this case. What say ye, Rod Beard?
Give me the question again. I want to make sure I got the phrasing of the question right.
All right, give me 1 second here. Jalen Duren is the Detroit Pistons' second most important player in the playoffs. I don't think it's blasphemous.
Nope. This is a somebody's mad and they took the ball home. This isn't even a shot. This is not a swish, a brick, or anything else. They just left with the ball. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. It's not Jalen Duren. It's Malik Beasley. We've lived and died by his three-point shooting, and he's kept us in a lot of games. Three-point shooting is what they would say. Yeah, for most of the year. How many games have you said Jalen Duren was the reason that the Pistons won that game? Much, much less than what you said for Malik Beasley. Much less. I said it that when we talked about this before, this blasphemy before, that Malik Beasley was the correct answer to that. And I would even argue Tobias Harris in some cases, but it is not Jalen Duren. He is not the same player when Cade is not in the lineup.
Okay, Ryan, I will ask you this. If Malik Beasley goes out there in the playoffs and he has a bad series shooting the basketball, can the Pistons weather that storm?
They will lose.
You think they lose? I would say that conversely with Jalen Duren, because the fact that Cade Cunningham has kind of stepped up from three, you do have a Tobias Harris on this team that can hit threes. Like, there are other options. Dennis Schroeder, I know he's not the most efficient, but he's somebody that can hit threes. You have a Marcus Sasser you can use in spots. Like, Malik Beasley has been great from three, and we all know that. Like, he went out there, broke the franchise record. You absolutely need him to deliver, but there may be times in the playoffs where the shot may not be going. It's going to be tougher. They play you tighter on the perimeter in the playoffs, and I will argue conversely, if Duren goes out there and he's the Duren that is not playing defense, he's not rebounding the ball, and he's not being aggressive in the paint, I think the Pistons lose this series like big that way. I think that could possibly be a sweep if he's not playing well, but that's just my only argument.
No. I get your point in that. And he has to play well. I don't think he's the second most important. He's in that list, but I don't think necessarily he'll be the second most important player.
I get what you're saying.
Hey, let's rock, man. Hey, and that's what Swisher Break is about, man.
Exactly, man. We all coming together as a family, man. You love to see it.
Hey, and this, I mean, and the reason why we do bring some of these is because it's a large contingent of people on both sides of these types of questions as well.
No, absolutely.
And I like the way we break these types of topics down. We have one more?
I just like the fact we can argue about good Pistons basketball, man. Ain't it great, bro? Ain't it great?
Beautiful.
The Pistons, like when you first get that little refund check from school, man, you ain't never had money before for real, man. You just feeling good about
talking
yourself.
about a team that none of us feel is gonna go in and just get blitzed this year.
Man,
that's what I'm saying.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We do got one more here. This one I am responsible for, but Kool-Aid, you absolutely cooked with Swisher Brick today.
Thank you.
If Jaden Ivey returns in the playoffs, Tim Hardaway Jr. should still be the starting guard, Swish or Brick.
You know what? Tim Hardaway throughout this season has been one of the more integral parts. You talk about those players who you say, hey, what has this person done? Are they one of those guys that's helped the Pistons win? And he's actually had those games. He's one of those flamethrowers. And he's one of the players who, if he's hot, you leave him in. If he's not, you can afford to take him out. And he's one of those, just seems to be egoless. I see him on the bench, even if he's pulled early in the game, and he's still over there going rah, 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 rah for his guys. But you said the statement was,
if Jaden Ivey returns in the playoffs, Tim Hardaway Jr. should still be the starting guard.
Yep. So yeah, definitely making a case for that right now. I believe that Tim Hardaway is one of those guys who you will know very, very quickly if he's on fire, and if not, you can always make that change if you believe that Jaden Ivey is ready to go. But that three-point shooting around Cade Cunningham, the charges that he takes, the energy he brings, and understanding the playoffs as a vet might be something you want and more of in that starting lineup. What say ye, Flannel Sam?
I was gonna say I'm cool with leaving Tim Hardaway Jr. in the starting lineup. I just think that JB Bickerstaff is gonna have a shorter leash and tighter rotations, as often is in the playoffs. And I'm not saying that THJ is gonna be detrimental to the team or anything like that, but if Ivey's actually ready to go and actually close enough to 100% to feel confident to play playoff games, he does add a dynamic that they haven't had for a while. So I think started off Tim Hardaway Jr. in the starting lineup, but JB Bickerstaff's leash should be short if Ivey's available.
What up, though, JB?
I got to go with Swish on this one. I will still keep Tim Hardaway in that starting lineup. I think he's gotten comfortable in it as well, too. Been on a bit of a heater as well. But as you said, Kool-Aid, once you start to see if he starts slipping in the game, then that's when you start to make adjustments. I'm not going to throw Ivy out there. Just the simple fact that it is the playoffs, and you want to get him kind of reacclimated with the team as well, too, and in this rotation. So I'm starting Tim Hardaway in the playoffs as it is right now until he shows me otherwise.
I caught a break because Jaden Allen shouldn't, come back for an injury like that and try to go to the playoffs and a lot of ball rush.
So you think Hardaway should be starting?
Absolutely.
Also switch then.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. Hardaway should, definitely start because Jaden he need to warm up a little bit. So that case he gotta get back to it. In playoffs, it's different type of intensity.
Get back to game shape. I feel what you mean.
Most definitely.
What say you, KG?
No, this is a Swish, and Flannel, bro, you framed this perfectly. Like, Ivy does provide a particular set of skills that, if he is 100% and he's ready to go and he can contribute in playoff basketball, then yeah, I might favor him over a Tim Hardaway Jr., but you do expect a minutes restriction when he comes back, if he does come back during the playoffs. So I'm cool riding with with Tim Hardaway right now. He's been playing really good ball. He's kind of earned that spot. So, for Tim Hardaway to go out there, hopefully can contribute from deep, like you said, and just, provide a little something on defense. I think the Pistons will be fine. But if Ivy is just in a situation where he's playing better than Tim Hardaway, then I make that move if I'm JB Bickerstaff. It's playoff basketball. You got to do whatever is working at the time. So.
Yeah. Rod Beard, what say ye? I'm seeing in the chats, I've seen a little bit of brick. I've seen a little bit of swish. Terrell Lamar, brick. Randall Small, swish. Chuckle Cheese, swish. Ivy's going to need to get reacclimated. And Terrell Lamar, you said brick. I'd be intrigued to know why. But Rod Beard, what say ye?
No, I think it's the acclimation and getting back into the swing of things and the minutes restriction. All of those things are true. I would say for Jalen Brunson, who do you have chasing him around? Do you put Cade on him to potentially get in foul trouble? I would say no. I think you put Tim Hardaway on Jalen Brunson, and you don't want Ivy running through screens and all of the contact that's going to come with that, especially if his game speed timing is off.
That's a good
point. Just all of that together says this is Tim.
No, Rod Beard is cooking up with that one, man. And you know what? It's awesome, like KG said, to be able to talk about this team as it relates to playoffs, not even the play-in. And they do get a little bit of time with that play-in tournament to heal up just that much more, get some guys some much-needed rest, reset those expectations, because it could be just enough to say, you know what, hey guys, we made the playoffs, we're feeling good about ourselves, and you can go out there and be met with the same fate that the last two playoff Pistons teams were, and that was really just being a sacrificial lamb, 1 year for LeBron James and another year for Giannis. This year, I do believe that this team, they have just continued to be just bothered even by their own success at times. You've seen JB Bickerstaff from the podium. You've seen Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris step up after wins and saying we didn't play to the standard. And so I don't believe that this team is just satisfied right now. And you heard, Cade after the last game. He said, look, we're confident, and they do have expectations heading into this playoffs. So any last words from you, Rod, on the last show of the regular season, the last Woodward Pistons show?
For Pistons fans, your summer opens up and looks a whole lot different. Here are things that you are not worried about. The lottery. The combine.
Preach.
Summer league.
Preach.
None of that. You're not worried about anything until training camp starts back up in September. Your entire summer is, if you watch a summer league Pistons game, you are one of the most diehard fans that there is, unless they do something miraculous and trade into the first round, because that second round pick is 36, whatever it is. You have your whole summer to relax and not worry about any of those big things.
Hey, Rob, before you take off, I got to level with you, man. I find it funny that, this Pistons team is hovering around 43 wins. It could very well finish at 43 wins. And then we all of a sudden get this news that you headed to Atlanta. And I just feel like that's a little crazy, bro. Like this sticky note, little thing kind of ruined my life a little bit. I'm not going to ruin my life. Like I had family members asking, what's up with the sticky notes, dog? Like, what's up with that? And now you conveniently just want to take off to Atlanta. I just think that's a little crazy, bro. Like, I thought we was better than that.
My work here is done.
My
job is to get back to the playoffs. I have waved the magic wand and we have toiled through, what is this, Kool-Aid, 4 or 5 years of futility. And now
it's
they're
been some
back.
Time, brother.
I need to work. I need to work the magic. Go and sample some Magic City wings and help the tournament.
Magic City.
They fire too. They fire over Magic City.
Listen, your job is to get out of town before I crash out, bro. Because if they finish at 43, I'm coming here and I'm crashing out. But no, all the best to you, Ryan. Appreciate you, bro.
This is 42. And we said 45 and 46. So this is like The Price is Right. You win over. You can't win.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's convenient. It's convenient is all I'm saying.
KG, victory lapping the Pistons getting less wins is certainly a choice. It's certainly a choice.
Listen, bro.
Rather be right.
KG up here.
Rather be right than anything else.
KG is not protected by the other people on this cast. So KG got to defend himself against this sticky note propaganda.
family members is wild behavior. That is
I'm so
that's
serious.
wild.
Rod, he was waking up in cold sweats thinking it was sticky notes on the ceiling, bro.
Ruined my professional career, man. Over saying 42, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, man, let me just say, this has been just so gratifying and fun for me to be with you guys this season. And it's not. I think Kool-Aid, when we started doing this, I was taking notes on the side and I got to spit these stats and do all of this stuff. This banter and the way that we're able to just spit game and just talk and just swish or break. I don't have any notes. I might look something up in the middle of something, but this going back and forth is the way that this podcast should be. So let me congratulate you guys on really turning this into a good listen, and the comments and the listener feedback and everything. That's what this is supposed to be. So whether I'm here or not, KG, you know my spirit, man.
Yes, sir.
Mostly what I'm gonna say is what you're gonna say anyway. But I leave the torch for you guys to carry on with this, because I'm really proud of what this has become.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you.
Appreciate
really
you, Rod.
appreciate that.
Thank you, Rod. Like just taking a chance on a startup and some unknowns and what it's become. Like even all of the things that people don't see. You know, I remember just the different advice. Even being at some of the press conferences for JB, and you're like, hey, you know, this is the way we address them in the press conferences, what we address the owner talk. Rod was like, call him Tom. I was like, I can call him Tom. He's like, yes. Like, you know, just those.
Call Tom Boris Tom. That dude's first name is Tom. It ain't Mr. Nothing.
Those. It was awesome. And I told the people as well that when I got the actual credential, you were sitting there waiting for me at the gate. And so that type of stuff, it goes a long way. And it's not even like I was working at the Detroit News. And then you start to hear and see everybody else that gave you respectfully and rightfully your flowers about how you've affected their careers as well. And a lot of those people weren't there. So you got people in-house, people out of house, people all over, man, that you've affected. And I just definitely want to make sure you know that. From Woodward Sports, from Waco Woodward, from Woodward Pistons, from even Morning Woodward Show, because you gave us your time there and all across the network. Thank you, Rod Beard, for everything you've done for us and just helping us all get better, too.
Absolutely.
He helped me early on, because I told you guys there are like 20 episodes I left on the production floor. And he was like, where's it at, man? I'm like, I'm not there. And I remember you really gave a lot of patience to this thing. So thank you again, Rod Beard. And, hey, we still got a little bit more basketball to talk about with these Pistons.
Oh, yeah, we got more basketball to talk. We'll be talking about the Hawks in the play-in. Yeah, that'll be a short one.
Let's rock, man. Rod Beard, Detroit News, sports editor-in-chief. And you know what? You got a great opportunity down south, and just can't wait to see how that blossoms and works out for you. But thank you again, Rod.
All right, thanks, fellas. Have a good show.
Yeah,
hey,
thanks,
have a good
Rod.
day.
Thanks,
have a good day. And let's get into that next segment. But what friends do you want us to say hello to first? JBSmooovv.
Loom, and follow us on socials.
Hey, let's go.
KG, you got Loom over there? Or?
Yeah, Loom. My bad. I need some Loom, man. It's been a long week. But you already know Loom Cannabis Company, but did you know that they've got all the brands you love now for less? With unbeatable prices, a wider selection, and the best loyalty program, Loom is the premier destination for new and experienced shoppers like myself. Experience Michigan's #1 recreational dispensary at one of their 38 locations. And look, y'all, save some money. Use code word WSN30 for 30% off your entire order online or in store, and you can get all that by going to loom.com.
And follow us on socials.
Stay connected with Woodward Sports on all social platforms. You want to do that today, especially because Kool-Aid got his hands on some Pistons tickets. Woodward Sports got their hands on some Pistons tickets. And you guys get opportunity to sit with some of your Woodward Sports personalities, including the WUW Crew. So you want to stay tapped in. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok for the latest sports news, live updates, and behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out. And hit that follow button now. Be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network at Woodward Sports everywhere. And once again, there will be Pistons ticket giveaways. You want to be there. I know chat family member Freddie Felt, he's already going to be on the way as part of honoring him for being one of our contributors, one of our correspondents. And I want to be able to make sure, chat family, you guys know too, you guys are at events, you guys get content, you send it in, you got opportunity to win more as well from this network. So for the fans, by the fans, thank you guys for everything you do to support us. Tap in.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
One. A Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. They got deals of the month. You can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for just $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
Hey, we are back, and it's been a show, and we got a little bit of time for this, man. Let's just satisfy that like button and get into what's trending real quick.
Hey, DJ gonna have to stop bumping that table. Oh, it's clean.
Hey, it's smooth, man.
Listen, man, we been waiting.
Satisfy that like button.
Go ahead and slide down that like button, man. Just tap the
Slide down that like button.
Go ahead and tap that like
Hey,
Slide
hey,
down
it's
that
just
like
a perfect
button.
sandwich here. You got the like button, you satisfying that, and then you get to enjoy a sandwich while watching what's trending.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
My boy JBSmooovv, what up, though?
Hey,
what up,
what's
though?
going on,
Let's
chat
rock.
family? Shout out to Stick behind me as well too. Glad he wasn't here for the Ivy talk. So
Yeah. What can I say?
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
we dodged the bullet with that one.
I was going to say, did we even...
I'm from 11 to 1 today, so I will have retribution.
We actually didn't say anything bad.
Yeah, right. That's
Nothing
the
bad.
funny part.
I'll
But he
still
gonna take
get
it
my
as that.
retribution.
He
still
makes
gonna be
things. He
upset
makes
about
up Ivy slander in his head.
Yeah.
Bench player, right, KG?
He will be in the playoffs.
Right,
but
JB?
I mean, come on.
All right, go ahead.
It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs. I digress. Guys, fast food. Who doesn't love McDonald's? But you also want to go to the gym at the same time. So now you can do both.
Oh, boy.
McDonald's.
What?
McDonald's need to be stopped.
What?
They
You
need
can
to be
eat your
fucking
Big Mac
stopped.
and exercise.
Come
What?
on, dog.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. They tricking you.
Hey. Come on.
Come on, dog. They need to be fucking stopped.
Do you know
What's
like
wrong with
terrible.
this?
Especially when you actually like the first time I looked at like calories you eat versus how much you have to work to burn it off. You're burning off maybe a sip of Sprite.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here?
This is just something to make
That's
you
it.
feel good.
The whole half hour, you might have. Hey, you can enjoy a half of an apple pie now. It's like, what are we doing?
This is here to make you feel good while you ordering your filet of fish and think you losing
I
weight.
reject
Like-
the TGT shirt. She does not get it.
Come on. Look.
No,
like,
not her.
But just remember, people, we burn calories just through existing. I probably burned a bunch on this show today. Probably not the most I've ever burned on a show before, but
yeah.
And this is a man that
calories.
eats all meat. He eats no sides ever, no grains, no nothing, just all meat, bro. And then
salad on
occasional
pizza.
lettuce. Occasional lettuce.
But he puts that on pizza.
Do you put
Yeah,
steak
dog,
sauce on
which
your
is
meat,
wild.
Flannel?
Sometimes. What's up?
You put steak sauce in your meat, right? Since you don't order no sides.
I mean, I'm pretty plain.
He likes it dry.
God,
Yeah, pretty
damn,
plain.
you season it too?
Flannel likes it dry.
We gotta do the cookout this summer, dog.
Sam isn't a fan of wetness and moisture, so yeah.
That's actually true. There's a lot of evidence to that.
Yeah.
That keeps mounting.
Oh man, it's single side. Bang!
Oh my
It's a very dry bag.
God damn, what kind of taste buds you got, homie?
No water, no nothing. He just.
You gotta hang out with me, man, with the food part.
Oh man, got a slab of ribs, a burger, no water, no sides.
I'm sorry, Flannel. I'm sorry.
Flannel was the man, dog. Flannel
right.
just different, bro.
Oh man, I'm sorry for that, Flannel. Sorry about that,
Dude, you're good.
You guys know it was cold this past couple days, and you know what, Detroiters, we can endure this type of cold weather, especially when it comes to baseball. Not so much for the Mets, though. Whew. What is he doing?
Something interesting.
Yeah.
Shout out to
messed
the
up.
announcer, dog.
It's the warmest area of the body.
Yes, indeed.
I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
saying.
The announcer understands. He understood the assignment, huh?
A Gamecocks fan.
He kept saying Gamecocks, huh?
Just
know.
kept
Is anybody
saying
wearing
it
a
for some
South
odd
Carolina
reason.
shirt?
Or a chick.
I think
Oh,
that's a chick.
he says,
say.
oh yeah, so it does make sense.
I'm not mad at it.
At the game?
Yeah, OG move.
You're not mad at it?
That's an
Classic.
OG move.
How's
That's
this
an
an
OG move, man, in the movie theater, man.
It's been going on since Maz was calling baseball.
Get your war bonds and your finger.
Get your war bonds here.
War
War
bonds,
bonds,
anyone?
Don't be a jerk off and get your war bonds.
Look at this laugh.
I've always
Like I
said,
said.
though, like, obviously that's probably not what he's doing, but if you were, you just, like, ruined a pair of boxers or pants for no reason. You can't wait.
Hey, sometimes executive decisions need to be made on the fly, Flannel said.
Of course.
$5 is $5.
Exactly.
I mean, that's true as well, too. Now, this next video, I don't know if she's okay, everybody, so please don't ask me,
Oh,
but,
boy.
you know, sometimes things happen on your way to a concert.
Oh!
I didn't even see it.
Damn.
A TGT shirt? Oh, yeah.
Definitely a TGT shirt.
Goodness gracious.
Things happen.
She get hit by
I
a
saw
car.
one at work.
Oh, so she is okay. She got hit by a car, then she made it.
Oh, damn.
To
She
get
made it to
those
her show.
nosebleed seats.
I know, to nosebleed seats.
Oh.
Damn.
Me and the driver got to have a word, though. Yeah, she should be looking both ways, but if you hit my girl, I got to do something. Like,
You having a
I
conversation
got to
with the
salvage
driver.
the night, bro.
She's just smiling and just like, what was your pregame? I must know because she didn't feel a darn
Yeah,
thing.
she did not
Probably a
feel
good
it.
thing.
Nothing is more resilient than a drunk white girl. I
No,
have
that's
seen
a
them-
fact.
I have seen them
That
fall
too.
off of bars.
That too.
I have seen them get hit by cars. They just pop up like, "Let's go, baby."
No, the determination to go see Sabrina Carpenter is unreal, bro. You got to give her credit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Got to give her credit.
Yeah, why is she in the nosebleed still? I don't
Let's
understand
go,
this.
girls. Da, 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 da. No,
You can say it was
right
Sabrina
one.
Carpenter.
No, that's
fan.
not the right one, Flannel. Sorry. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. Just hold on tight. Hold on tight, bro.
Uh-oh.
That's what she said.
He
No.
told you.
No.
Oh!
Shit, damn.
Why? Why?
Damn. It's over.
It's too
One of the
fast,
most
too
common
furious right
myths
there.
is people think that the spoilers are like somehow
They're
a
not
part of
that
like
sturdy.
the frame of the metal car, and it is not. It's bolted on. It is not going to support your weight. Bro,
I'm too fast, too furious. Act a fool. I'm too fast for y'all. Oh my god.
this is so stupid. Dog.
Face on
No,
the
no,
pavement.
it sound like
God
my
damn.
alias.
Like I
Seven
have
Mile.
friends that try stuff like this with skateboards.
No,
hold
no,
on to
no.
the spoiler. I'm like, it's not gonna work.
No, that's in the east side of Detroit. 7 Mile, my alien type of traffic.
Hey, shout out
I'll tell you
Tommy K. She swerved a bit that corner. Whoa.
Oh, but that's it for what's trending today, guys. Let's hop in some mailbag when we got some time.
man.
My gosh, dog. Like, I'm seeing the people in the chat, man. As always, they love what's trending because you do a great job at that, JBSmooovv. Thank you for always cooking up those videos, man.
Oh, always.
Need those last. But let me see here. If you guys got any mailbag questions, definitely send them in. Shout out to Feldman Chevrolet of Novi. for sponsoring a lot here, and being honestly one of those sponsors that's one of those big ones. And it goes a long way as it relates to what we're able to provide for you all. So definitely, if you have any of those mailbag questions, hashtag Feldman Mailbag.
Actually, I see one earlier too. You want me to read that one off?
Yep, because I see one from BigCon51 as well. If you see a different one, read that one first.
Yeah, I see this one right here. This is actually directly towards you, Kool-Aid, but I think we all can answer this. From Raya's reaction earlier when we had Rod on, said, do you ever think Monty Williams will coach at an NBA level again?
Probably not.
I can actually see it.
I can see it, but I don't think he will.
NBA is like that, man. I can see it, especially some young upstart team or even a team that believes maybe that they are veteran laden, ready to go, and that I know effectively he's put out there that that's what fits his system. There was a lot of people at first that thought that it was more the Pistons than Monty. Obviously, you could see it was a lot more Monty. But if it was about care versus who he's shown himself to be as a coach before the Pistons, he can get another opportunity if he wants.
No, he's been a good coach in this league for a long time. And listen, like, he was objectively bad with the Pistons. Like, I am in no way trying to defend his Pistons tenure. However, with everything that the man went through, he was ready to hang him up, after, his stint with the Suns. He got made an offer he just couldn't refuse, bro, in the words of the Godfather. And I think most of us, even considering the circumstances, would have taken that money. I think he didn't necessarily realize how bad this situation really was, and once he stepped his foot in the door and kind of saw that, I mean, he kind of lost his passion, bro. And whatever that tiff was with Jaden Ivey was kind of a little out of pocket, whatever that was. You stunted his growth to a certain degree. Thank God he had the season he had this year. But yeah, it's just I don't necessarily blame him for taking the money. Yes, it sucked, but it is what it is. He's a good coach in this league, though, and I can see him doing it. I just don't think he will. At this point, why would you? You making money to stay at home.
The NBA coaching carousel is such a fickle bitch that
what?
Monty Williams might get hired tomorrow. The Nuggets might even take the interim tag off of Nuggets
and the Grizzlies.
Yeah, what's going on with that situation?
Top 5 teams.
I've been waiting to talk about that
in
shit all day.
the West, bro, fired their coaches during the playoff stretches. Like the last. This is
It almost seemed at this point, if you win an NBA championship, you're gonna get fired in 2 years. Like the trend continues. Frank Vogel, Nick Nurse, fucking Mike Budenholzer, now Mike Malone. Like Mike Malone is the reason that and Jokic, but Mike Malone is a big reason for the turnaround in Denver. I don't get it.
I want to look at exactly how this new CBA is affecting things, because it looked like for a while the players were gonna have the power. But we just saw what the Mavericks did in terms of trading away what's the name, and then you hear some of the words from the Denver owner, and he wanted younger players playing over some of the older players.
That's what I was going to bring up too. I seen a lot of stuff yesterday about this whole Joker to LA. Like, what is this?
Money stuff, man. LA will pay whatever tax. But these other owners, I don't know if what they're willing to do as it relates to re-upping, especially if you're not able to build a consistent championship winner around them. Like, that was the weird stuff. It's like, wait, you're a consistent championship contender. You're mad because you're not a consistent championship winner, even though you literally have won rings this decade.
You're the fucking Denver Nuggets,
That's
bro.
freaking crazy to me. Like, what is, like, this is loony bin. If you're that loony, just toss them to the Pistons.
Yo, for real. Hey, for a year or two, come rock on our staff
Porter. I'll take him too.
Come rock on our staff for a year or two. You'll be right back as a head coach in no time, bro. But yeah, come
Mike
rock with the
Malone got
Pistons for 2
ties
years.
here. Obviously his father was here, so it's like, man, special assistant to the Pistons.
No, for real, bro. But that's wild, bro.
They still ain't hired
bro,
Mark
look,
Jackson.
if they talking about getting rid of anybody, hey, just throw somebody to the Pistons. Anybody.
This NBA is so fucking crazy. But like you said, it's the money, bro. Like, because what other reason is there besides maybe some front office, drama that may have been going on? But that's crazy to fire somebody like Michael Malone.
Michael Malone, and I'll even go back to Nick Nurse,
Yeah.
coached these franchises to their only championships in history. The Nuggets, they couldn't do it in the Melo years. They couldn't do it in like the Alex English years. And with the Raptors, they couldn't do it with DeRozan and Lowry. They couldn't do it with Vince Carter and whatnot. But those guys, with players, of course, like Kawhi and Jokic, God, those franchises, their only championships.
Even Mike Budenholzer. Like,
They hadn't won one since Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, when you can understand it a little bit because some people say you see what Dwayne Casey was doing there prior to help build this team up, both as a coach and with the personnel. But with Mike Malone, it's like he did build this up. Like that's what I don't understand. Like he is the guy, in fact, got this Nuggets team going the way that they've been going, and that to me is what makes it just even much more odd than the Nick Nurse situation, who stepped into really a ready-made team. He was a good coach, but a ready-made team with a superstar ready to take that next leap.
But it's more the narrative. It's the Toronto Raptors. They had done nothing in their franchise.
And they effectively derailed the 76ers forever. Like that shot, that Kawhi shot ended the 76ers process.
That's a bar
to be
for
fair, though, to what you said, Nick Nurse and Mike Budenholzer in their next stops, I think, have proven to be closer to good than great. I'll just say that. I know that with the Sixers, it's injuries, but Mike Budenholzer, I know that the Phoenix Suns, there's just a lot of rot there besides for their top-end guys, but I don't think Budenholzer's done a great job with them either. The fact that the Phoenix Suns are not in the play-in is
too many egos, bro.
It's such a disgrace.
Yeah, and the Phoenix Suns, to me, they actually are now a case in point for me when it comes to building a team up.
Yeah,
and what type of help you bring there, because they made the playoffs under Monty Williams, and they had some good help from some young players that, for whatever reason, Kelly Oubre, they didn't retain. They didn't want to retain some of those other guys, Cam Johnson and such. I don't know why you don't do that, but that to me is what undid them, because they decided throw in your chips for what? For we can try and form us a big three on the fly.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. You talk about how it don't fit, and that's where, you look at what some of these young guys are doing right now with this rye mix of veterans who aren't necessarily your top vets.
Yeah.
But you look at what they're doing right now, and they're looking good.
Bro, we are living in a world where Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant didn't work. And I know there's caveats to it, but that was a failure, and that set the Brooklyn Nets back for a while, bro. So it's just crazy, and I hate to see it for somebody like Durant. His legacy kind of go in this direction. Being a part of Phoenix and them not getting it done. But yeah, it's just this NBA thing, man. It's crazy. That's why what the Pistons are doing is so important. It's not easy to get good in this league. It's not. So
hey, that's right. Man.
Should Joe Mazzulla be looking over his shoulder now? Because if you win a championship,
you on the chopping block.
I mean, everyone should.
It's crazy.
Unreal.
No loyalty, man.
Yeah. I have no idea what defense. I just can't wait to see exactly what's what, especially with the Grizzlies stuff, man. This stuff is pretty wild. You didn't play young players, but the man got you in a position to win a championship. You think he's doing nothing?
And he handled the Ja shit pretty well, I would say. Everything that they went through as a franchise with Ja,
that's just weird, bro. All of this stuff is weird, man. All of it. But you know what? Who's not in this type of dysfunction? There's more teams decided to throw themselves on that all dysfunction list. The Pistons aren't there. No. They're just in a position right now where it's honestly, get prepared. Film study. Don't rest on your laurels. Because Tom Thibodeau, he ain't really nothing to be messed with. And these Knicks, if they get them going, they got some dogs over there. They got multiple MVP candidates. It's just get to the lab. Don't rest on the results of the past, even though you've had some luck there. Now it's playoff basketball. Now it's you talk about complaining for whistles during the regular season. This is one where you need to just show up and not even expect it. This is literally rec league ball. Mm-hmm. Where if you call for a foul, I'm talking about that rec league ball where you call for a foul, then the game is going to be held up for 30 minutes and there's no more game. This is just, you playing with no calls. And you got to go in there and have that mentality. That's what I loved about the old Detroit Pistons teams, especially the 04 teams. They went out there to press the physicality. And they didn't really, you would get some complaints, but they didn't rely on it. And that's what you want to see these Pistons do, man.
Yeah, and I think, and just another little on my soapbox thing, I do think Tom Thibodeau gets a little bit too much of a bad rap for wearing down his players. And don't get me wrong, I think there's something to that, but I don't think the reason why Chicago didn't win a championship was because Tom Thibodeau. I think it was because Derrick Rose got hurt. Yeah, and absolutely. You were always going to go up against a LeBron team no matter what.
So it wasn't really this time.
It's not me. So even a healthy Rose, that was like LeBron with the Heat, LeBron at the beginning with the Cavs. I think that has more to do with it than anything. So Tom Thibodeau, usually, though, he'll get you a round or two, and that would be a problem.
He wears you the fuck out. That's why.
He does. I mean, the numbers suggest that man puts a lot of pressure, especially on his top line, rotation players. So maybe it bodes some type of benefit for the Pistons, who have largely taken some of their more important players and restricted some of their minutes. Even Cade Cunningham with nursing some of these injuries. They've been able to have these players play more consistently together. We were talking about some of their lineups from last year, their good lineups from last year, and not seeing a lot of those minutes together. But this year they got a whole lot of minutes together with their best lineup. So, hey, it's not a show, brother.
Absolutely.
Let's go, man. Hey, let's get that show into music, man. We'll break this thing all the way down. Hey, shout out to you, chat family, for being the most important part of the WUW Crew. Wake Up Woodward. Go ahead and smash that like button to support the WUW Crew if you haven't got an opportunity to. Share the stream. Put comments in the comment section as well. And, you know what, Summertime walked into the building. Shout out to her. Shout out to Matthew Broder. That dude Justin, the legend Rod Beard, for giving us his time today. Cavassier Chase is in the building as well. And to this elite booth, Willie B, what up, though, brother?
Man, what's going on right here, man? Everything smooth, man. It's a good discussion. It's a good show, man. We out there talk about Pistons playoff basketball. Nothing gets me going of NBA basketball coming up, especially in NBA. So, in that case, let's looking forward to see how the Pistons gonna handle the Knicks and then go out there to upset them. So that's how I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, let's rock. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. That is JBSmooovv. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's going on, chat family? Thanks for tapping in with us today. Another good show. Tigers got a 110 game today,
Yes,
I believe.
sir.
So, hey, go out there, get that sweep, get it done, kill the Yankees, baby.
Who called for the sweep yesterday?
You did. You did.
Let's rock. Hey, KG, that's Detroit's #1 draft pick. What up, though, brother? Rookie of the Year MVP.
Yes, sir. Feeling good, man. Very appreciative of the words from Rod Beard earlier. You know, people like him, getting a chance to work with people like him, he makes us all better, bro. So, just very appreciative. And shout out to, you know, everybody in the chat that tap in with us every single morning. We appreciate it. You know, the banter, even some of the crazy comments, we appreciate it all. Shout out to my team. Love y'all. Let's keep it rolling. Go Tigers.
Hey, go Tigers. Flannel Sandler, vet of the squad, vet of the network, Red Wings correspondent, broke some stuff down really thoroughly to start this show off, man. All sports knower. What up, though, brother?
Hey, if the Red Wings can't make the playoffs, Pistons will scratch that itch, and hopefully the Tigers continue off on their great start by completing the sweep today so that Skydog can come back tomorrow and weep. The baby that he is.
Skydog be trolling, man.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon Dan, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid differential Pistons reporter and writer for
non-existence if he's not. Anyway,
he all right, man. We love him too.
Absolutely,
we love him.
Absolutely not.
Well, Sam don't, but we do.
Hey, it's been a show. It's been Wake Up Woodward. You guys going ahead and have a blessed day. Like I said, smash that like button on the way out. That's all.